Hello guys, welcome back with me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Oil down third week in row as Putin's scare talk gets less scary for energy. Investing.com, he only had to hint at a squeeze of Russian energy export at one time, and oil traders would sit upright and crude prices would fly higher. But Vladimir Putin's rhetoric might be losing its impact with the energy crowd, especially after a public dressing down on Friday from one of the Russian president's greatest allies, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Crude prices settled flat to slightly higher on the day, but on a weekly basis, they fell for a third straight week on news that Iraq's Basra oil terminal had resumed pumping following a brief disruption over oil spill, and after the dollar resurgence on expectation of another bumper rate hike by Federal Reserve next week, a jump in the oil United States rig count to just shy of 600 was also a negative for the market. New York trade West Texas Intermediate, which serves as the United States crude benchmark, settled just a cent higher at 85.11 full barrel for the week. It was down almost 2%, adding to the near 7% loss over two prior weeks. Brent, the London Trade Global benchmark for oil, settled up 51 cents or 0.6% at 91.35 per barrel. It fell 1.6% on the week, adding to the near 9% slump over the previous week, while the events in Iraq and the dollar's resurgence dominated Friday's headlines on oil. Inconspicuously weighing on the market, however, was also the image of a Putin in rhetoric, somewhat smaller by his key ally Modi after the Indian premier refused to share social passions for the war on Ukraine. It's a fact, Putin's scare talk on energy is getting less scary this day, said John Kilduff, partner at New York Energy had found again capital and Russia's key list. India and China showed this week they are more like fair weather friends that one that would stand with Putin in the eye of the storm. Moody exhibited precisely that sentiment on Friday. I know that today's era is an era of war, and I have spoken to you on the phone about this, the Indian leader told Putin as they chatted on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, which the Russian president has tried to use a showcase and how of his alliance with China and India. How Modi and China's leader Xi Jinping responds to Putin and the war in Ukraine is important to curb prices, particularly from the perspective on the price cap on Russian oil that the group of seven countries want to impose from December to limit what Moscow can earn from its energy export to fund the war against Ukraine. For the record, India dismisses the G7 oil prices cap, saying energy security needs and economics will guide current purchases by its refiners. But within that direction was India's taken admissions that the lower the prices of Russian crude, the more the demand from Indian refiners will be, and that basically underscores the aim of the oil prices cap, which is to reduce Russia's revenues from oil. Crude importing nations led by China and the United States also get to see lower prices for a barrel in the futures market when discounted Russian oil lands on the physical market, pressuring competing barrels from Saudi Arabia and other producers. China's Xi also refrained from embracing Putin exuberantly over the war, forcing the Russia's leader to publicly acknowledge the well-balanced position of our Chinese friends in connection with the Ukrainian crisis. It was a concession Putin had to make after the Russian military lost important territory in the war of this week to Ukrainian forces. In further concessions, Putin said on Friday Russia will uphold in its energy commitment if the West lifts its restriction against the Russian Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline that runs across the bloc. I think that's all from me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.